Hello and welcome to Country Roads Confidential. No, your ears are not deceiving you. This is not Mr. Mike Casaza. This is Chris Anderson. We are switching things up for our post-game coverage of your Mountaineers. You have already heard my thoughts on West Virginia's showing in their loss to Kansas State on Saturday afternoon. This is a second and also brief podcast to talk about another big topic of the day. That would be the apparent departure of preseason All Big 12 cornerback Charles Woods. For those who are not familiar with what happened or possibly happened, shortly before kickoff on Saturday afternoon, Woods took to his Instagram post showing a picture of himself in a WVU jersey with the notation, "Thank you, WVU," and then saying that a commitment was coming soon. Woods was not included in today's Senior Day festivities. As I had noted previously and have been telling people to keep an eye on, our VIP members knew this something was possible because Woods had played 4 games, and I said, keep an eye on this because he's not hurt and he's not playing. And he's going to redshirt. Now, whether it was going to be at West Virginia or somewhere else, that wasn't clear. I did not think an answer was coming anytime soon on that. A couple more weeks till the end of the season. But Woods was cleared to play, and Neil Brown had said publicly, hey, he's banged up a little bit again. He's probable for the game, maybe for the game, whatever it was he said. And Woods was on the dress list. The dress list indicates that he is available to play, except Woods was not on the sideline for that game. Same went for today. On the dress list for the Kansas State game, not on the sideline. Again, posting on Instagram that he was apparently leaving. Again, Mike was in the press box at the game, checking around, talking to people, and no one seemed to want to comment on the matter. I've also checked around on it, and there doesn't seem to be any shock that he would be leaving. I think some people thought he was. And you know what? That's going to happen. It happens all the time now. Transfer portal is not yet open. It will be open after the season. But that's not stopping people from announcing their intent to enter. They're entering purgatory to enter the transfer portal, whatever we're saying here. We saw it from cornerback Mumu bin Wahad, who also played 4 games and then mysteriously sat out a couple games before announcing that he would be transferring. We also saw it from tight end Corbin Page, who I was told had not really been involved in team activities for quite some time, so it wasn't a shock to see him in that. I know most of you listening to this probably saw Twitter, Instagram, whatever, about a month ago, where tight ends coach Sean Reagan posted a picture thanking his tight end room and talking about the guys in the tight end room and everybody in that picture, and Page was not a part of it. So, again, not new news there either. But why is this different? This feels different. It's over the years, I've been doing this for 12 years now. I have seen a lot of stuff. I have heard a lot of things, seen recruits do a lot of things, seen players do a lot of things, seen transfers do a lot of things. And the transferring thing, it's going to happen all the time, especially for guys with 1 year left. Maybe they think, hey, I can get that 1 year somewhere else, get another opportunity, try to shine, try to get my NFL draft stock up. It's not shocking that Woods might think that, especially with the coaching turmoil at West Virginia. Like any player that feels the need to leave right now, are you going to blame them when they're not sure who their coach is going to be next week, much less next season? So that's in the mix. And again, even if the coaching stuff wasn't going on, if a player wants to transfer, I have been a proponent of the ability to transfer. I don't think it's fair to try to hold them to it. I do think there should be some limitations on it. I've said that before. If you want all the perks of being an NFL player, then you got to have, the downsides that come with an NFL player. And currently right now, college players have all the good stuff of being NFL free agents and signees and whatnot, but none of the downside with it. But that's a whole other story. So back to Woods and his situation, why this is different. When these players make the decision to transfer, I know this is going to upset some people who are listening to this, but they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you an explanation. It'd be nice, especially if you have been supportive of them, if you have, whether it be fan-wise or NIL-wise, it would be nice if you got an explanation, but they don't owe you an explanation. They may not even owe the school or the coaches. I think it's a little bit disrespectful to, treat the coaches and the school that took you in like that way. I mean, I've seen the arguments. Our message board obviously on fire right now with this Charles Woods discussion. He was an FCS player that no one else wanted, and West Virginia took a flyer on him and said, hey, come here. We're going to give you your FBS opportunity. We're going to give you your Power 5 opportunity and a chance to make it to the NFL. And he gave him a year and then came back for the second one, but is now leaving. He will now he has the red shirt, so he does technically have one more year left, but West Virginia is only expecting 2 years from him, so to then ask him to do a third, whatever. He can transfer for whatever reasons. For the 10th time, I'm going to explain to you why this is different, because I haven't actually got to that point yet. We've seen players, disrespect is such a wrong word. It's a strong word. Disrespect coaches, the schools, the fans, whatever it is. They break the hearts of the fans, the coaches, the schools. But I'm trying to recall the last time I saw a player so flagrantly disrespect his own teammates, or I guess now ex-teammates, to come out and make waves like this just minutes before the kickoff for your team's game is wild to me. The fact that it is senior day and you're doing that is, I'm almost speechless on it, even if I am almost 7 minutes into this talk about it. It's kind of blowing my mind that he would do that to his teammates, to his friends, the guys that he grew with, that he played with, that he fought for and with. And so I guess, but did he do that on purpose? Did he do that for some kind of hard feelings towards the coaches, not knowing this was actually going to be more hurtful to his own teammates and former teammates? Or did he just not know? Which is possible, that you're so focused on yourself that you miss out who you're hurting here, who you're hurting most. And the people he's hurting most with this decision, it's not him. Him transferring and ending up in another school, that might end up being better. Who knows? But him transferring and making a big deal out of it as his teammates are preparing for a game, as the seniors who have fought so hard for the last 4 or 5 years are preparing for their final home game, their big day in the sun, as this program is fighting to stay bowl eligible, and then minutes before kickoff, you make it about you. That hurts, and that's something that's different. I can't remember a player, again, disrespecting, I'm not sure is the right word. It seems a little strong, but I can't remember a player doing that to other players like this in this situation. And that's why this feels so different to me. But it's still Saturday afternoon. I'm recording this as the game's going on, as West Virginia is playing Kansas State. We'll see what other answers come from this, because technically Woods can't enter the transfer portal yet. That window doesn't start until after the bowl games have been decided, and that is going to be in the first week of December, and then it goes for 45 days. It's November 19th. He still has over 2 weeks before he can even enter the portal. So the fact that he is saying that a commitment is coming soon, it kind of confirms what everybody already knows. These discussions happen through back channels. All sorts of players announce their intent to enter the portal. Other players don't even announce their intent to enter the portal. They just have their people talk to other people and get it worked out behind the scenes. That's why you see so many players enter the transfer portal and then already have a new home within 24 hours, 48 hours. That's not unusual. But this will just be another example of how the NCAA has screwed this up, how they need to get things under control, because if he announces a commitment before he technically enters the portal, it's going to be the most blatant and obvious, back channeling we've seen in quite some time. But again, on the West Virginia front, this hurts because that was a guy that maybe wasn't going to finish out this season, but there was a hope that 4 games, redshirt him. Hey, you were preseason All Big 12. Hey, you graded out as one of the best back in 2021. 2022 didn't go your way. You were hurt. And when you were on the field, you were, according to the grading systems that the scouts use, okay, like mediocre. Come back, get a full year in, make it special, and build that draft stock back up. Just show that 2022 was an injury year. It was a fluke, that the rest is the normal. And instead, he's going to have to be doing that somewhere else. And West Virginia will have to go to the transfer portal themselves to try to find his replacement. But that, my friends, is another story. Until next time, I'm Chris Anderson.